Brittany.
I'm Nicole.
And we're those girls. Welcome to our first episode in the TV studio. It's super cool.
I feel like this is really like the kickoff to the new season.
Right. Like, it's super nervous.
The lights, camera, action.
Like, we're doing the whole thing.
We're not in the closet anymore.
Although, this has been super fun putting it together.
Oh, yeah, this is huge.
But we are, like, the closet. We're missing the closet a little bit today.
Yeah, it's like when you have, like, you know, bittersweet, like you miss your humble beginnings.
Well, talking about beginnings, we are sitting at about 18 months now where we sat in Mom's pool with these lovely little cups. Cheers. And came up with the idea. So super excited we've come this far.
Yeah, that was our first trip together.
Yep.
And yeah, we sat in the pool with the cups.
And then we ended up here.
Right? It's crazy.
It's insane.
Full circle.
So we've been in a little bit of a hiatus because we've been trying to come up with what we're doing, transitioning here, and then also life's been really busy. So what's been going on?
I mean, I think the first thing we have to tell them about is our trip. So we took another trip to Virginia. Well, not another trip to Virginia. We
took a trip to Virginia.
We drove. How many hours did it end up taking us?
So we went a different way this time, and so it only took us like 11 and a half.
Really?
Yes. Even though it felt like 10
No, it wasn't bad. I felt like we were good in the car.
We were very good in
like
the car.
some people you don't mesh with on a road trip. Some people are annoying. I felt like we were really good. It was like, are you tired? Am I tired? Are you hungry? Or when you go with guys and they don't want to stop, they don't want to let you pee.
So I'm different though. Like I'm like a camel. Like I just go. So stopping as many times as like what did we stop like 3 times?
Yeah, that's not bad.
That was a lot for me. Because
Okay.
usually I'm like one and let's just.
So if I'm by myself, I don't stop a lot.
Right.
But I don't know. I felt like we did good.
So yes, we ended up down there and we came home on time. Usually when I go home, I don't come home on time. But we
or
had
there's like a hurricane.
And
we have to drive across the state.
Something.
Right.
So we did some fun stuff.
We did. We had a great trip.
But
First of all, can I tell you that I was talking when I was bartending the other night, talking to these 2 guys that were from Virginia and they had never been to Roanoke. And I was telling them like it was like the coolest city. I loved it so much. Like I thought it was like the coolest place. It was like speakeasies and the food was good. That's always like a big thing. Like the food's got to be good.
And I feel like for where we're located here in New England, like New England has a variety of so many different places, but where we are in Bridgewater, Whitman, we don't have a lot of food choices.
We do. It's just like all kind of similar.
Well, if you like a pizza joint.
Yeah. And then there's like pub style stuff.
Right.
And there's some like nicer restaurants, but it's not like.
There's no huge variety.
Yeah. That was like different experience.
Yes.
Very cool.
So, but we went and got tattoos.
We did.
We got tattoos.
Well,
and
it's also a step in a relationship to get matching tattoos.
We got matching tattoos.
And I don't know how to show them.
I don't know if
this
we
way.
can.
We can't show them.
I don't,
oh, yours is right side up.
I don't know how.
Show hers.
I gotta look at the camera.
Hey, boys, show hers.
I gotta look at the camera.
So it says home is where the heart is.
Yes.
That's Brittany. That's your company's
that's like
logo a little bit.
Our tagline. That's what we, that's on like all of our sweatshirts and stuff. But it was really fitting because we're in real estate together.
Yep.
All the mortgages, all of that fun. But then also, all of my tattoos have come from Virginia.
Well, it's your home.
It's a special place for me to get them. And when I was younger, I didn't really want tattoos. That wasn't something that was, interesting to me. Mostly because it was the fad. And it was like, oh, I'm just going to get something to get something.
Right. You don't want to just get something
for
to
our
get
generation.
Yeah.
But as I age, I'm like, oh, I like, all of particular meanings. So going home and getting one with my best friend was amazing. But the way in which we got said tattoos.
Oh my God, I have to tell it from my perspective first.
Please tell it from your perspective.
Because, okay, so I have many tattoos. I've gotten them at a couple different places. I usually go to the same place, actually in Bridgewater. Shout out to Sacred Edition. But, so Brittany's like, I have this guy I love. He was in Roanoke before. He's so great. He used to live in Taunton. I've gotten tattooed from him before. I'm like, cool.
Yes.
So she texts him on the way, and he says, oh, I opened up my own shop.
Yes.
And it's a little bit out of the city, but it's at my house.
No, we didn't tell him.
Oh, we didn't tell you that.
He did not tell us that it was at his house. Actually, we are going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and finish the story.
Okay.
All right? We'll see you in a minute. And we're back.
Hi.
Before the break, we were talking about our experience getting the tattoo in Virginia.
Yes. So Brittany reaches out to her guy. He says, I have a new shop. It's a little bit off the beaten path. Not in the city, but like, you guys should still come. It's just opening.
Yep. We were the first people in his new spot.
So we are driving out there, and it's beautiful, but we're getting further and further and further into the mountains. And I turned to her at one point, and I'm a pretty like adventurous person.
I'm going to cut you for a second.
Go ahead.
You lost cell service trying to do a deal with an attorney.
An attorney
and then
kept
you
calling
looked at me.
Yeah, and so then I look at her and I go, you know this guy, right? And she goes, well, I've gotten like tattooed by him before. I go, you don't like know him? No. She's like, no, but he's fine. So we get there, we pull up and we realize it's his house. Yeah. And there's a little shed in the back on the side. He's
going to be so insulted that we're calling it
No,
a shed.
it is. What did he call it?
So it's like a tiny home that he converted.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it's a shed.
It's bigger than a shed.
It's a glorified shed.
It's like a double wide shed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's beautiful. It's on the river. But like we're getting out of the car and it's raining that day too.
It's raining.
And I'm like, dude, are you sure you know what we're doing right now?
No clue. No clue.
And so we walk up and we come out. And that's what we called it. So it's not finished yet.
No, like didn't.
Remember I said we're hanging out in the studs. It was literally, he hadn't like built it out yet.
No.
He was in the process of building it out.
We had to go inside his house, meet his wife to use the bathroom.
Yeah. And then we came out and like, I didn't realize at the time too that we were the first person he had tattooed in there.
Yes.
And I don't know. I thought that was like super cool and super special because he was like such an awesome person.
We signed his floor.
We did.
Which was super cool.
It was all plywood. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we spent like 8 hours there.
Listen.
And everyone was mad at us because we were late for dinner.
I did not know that like, so this was my third tattoo. So I don't have many, but like I have a small one and then the one I have on my shoulder is probably bigger than this one.
Yeah, different. Yeah.
I think so he did the one on my shoulder. I think it was like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. We were there the entire day, but awesome. I will say that I have had more compliments on the line work of this so than anything. People have been like, oh, where'd you get it done locally? Can I go get it done? So if
311 Tattoo.
If you're ever in Roanoke, Virginia, you want to stop by 311 Tattoo.
Go see Justin.
He's amazing.
We're going to have him on the show.
We are.
When we get to radio and guests, he's going to be one of our first. No, but he was just, shout out to him. He was like the nicest, kindest, like so wholesome. Comfortable. We had the best conversations. I don't know if I'd say wholesome.
Genuine?
Are we wholesome?
No.
He's genuine.
Okay.
Genuine.
Like okay, I'm just trying to find the verbiage. Find the verbiage.
No, but he was awesome. You asked what my favorite part of the trip, but that was my favorite day.
That was favorite day.
That was the best time.
We love my family, but that was
it was fun. Just like we had like such a good experience.
And I think on that trip, for the first time, we only had one debacle with business. Usually we go away and business flourishes and it's busy and we're super swamped. We went on that like 15-mile hike and you had to send out a pre-approval.
Of course I did.
But
yes, I had to get back and we got it. I'm under agreement.
You're under agreement. Fantastic. Yep. Real estate's been super interesting as always.
Super weird.
We've had some interesting things happen, but you were dealing with an interesting thing from the mortgage end with a potential client.
Yeah. So a little bit of a difficult client. I've had him for like a couple months. He's gone to different lenders. He says he's not loyal to any lender. He's had like a bad experience in mortgages before, which I completely understand. When like a deal goes bad, even if it's not the mortgage person's fault or the agent's fault, it's stressful. And sometimes the clients like don't understand, which I completely understand. It can be a nightmare.
Right.
Especially if someone's like not doing it right either. So anyway, he had a bad experience. Agent sent him to me. I pre-approved him for whatever I pre-approved him for. It was not as much as he wanted to be approved for. It was a super complicated file. And, we had a conversation. I told him he had to do it a certain way. He had some rental things going on. There's all these different guidelines involved. And he wanted pre-approval for a certain amount. I gave him about $25,000 less than he wanted, which is still a decent pre-approval. And then didn't hear from him for a month. He went out, sent him on his way with his agent. So he has my pre-approval and he has someone else's pre-approval. 2 different pre-approvals. One of the ones he wants, one of the ones with me. I'm telling him the one that is for the amount he wants. They didn't do the proper work, and they're giving him a pre-approval that's not going to stand when you get through the process.
And why would that a pre-approval not stand compared to yours?
So, and I don't want to ever speak badly about like another LL specifically. I'm not, but like
just in general, like,
if you don't do the work, you have to collect taxes, you have to collect W-2s, you have to collect pay stubs, you have to collect sometimes out of the box things when you ask what the situation is. And if you don't do that, sometimes you don't know. And if you're not asking the right questions.
Okay.
And so I was requiring all these documents to show certain things I needed them to show.
Mm-hmm.
And part of this is, I guess the point of this was, there are certain things that are lender guidelines. They're called lender overlays. And there's certain things that are called government guidelines. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are the government entities of loans.
So you have, for your company that you work for, they have to follow the rules and regulations of the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. But then there are other rules sometimes that your company might have opposed to other companies in order to
So a lender overlay is we all take the base. We all take Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and those are the guidelines. You cannot bend, you cannot break, cannot get around.
Okay.
A lender overlay means, say, okay, an FHA loan, the debt to income ratio is 57%. A lender can say, I'm uncomfortable with that ratio. For our company, you have to have a 50% debt to income ratio to do this loan.
Okay.
Or FHA loans for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the credit score goes down to 580. A lot of companies won't take your loan unless your credit score is 620.
Okay.
They're allowed to, on certain things, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac gives you the base, and you can go below. You can't go above, obviously.
Okay.
But that's the type of things that, So anyway, he was not understanding that the guidelines I were giving him were the government guidelines. He kept saying, well, your lender is very strict. Your underwriters are very strict. I said, no, these are the government things. These are not lender things. And he was not understanding the difference. So I think people, when they go to get pre-approved, it's like very important to know the right questions to ask. Is this a lender overlay or is this a government guideline?
Right.
Which a lot of people don't know.
A lot of people don't know. And I think because there's so many different choices out there that it's really hard to educate consumers on everything they need to
100%.
know. And I think that from our perspective, from the industry perspective, at least for me as an agent, it is so hard to follow what those guidelines are because I feel like they change.
So people sometimes are like, sometimes there's these obscure guidelines that even me, or sometimes even like a manager, until they get through underwriting, we didn't even know that was a thing because the guidelines change so often because real estate always ebbs and flows. The condition of the market always changes. Mm-hmm. So you have to adjust the guidelines to fit the market. So they change all the time, and it's not like they're sending out like a like a red alert,
like a cheat sheet.
Like, hey, this changed. No, you have to like keep up with it on your own, and it's very difficult.
So I don't like money. Any conversation around money, I don't like it. So I always defer to you on all of that. I don't think I could ever keep up with, there's so much to keep up on my end, but to add that aspect and for me on the real estate side, I'm like, oh, do you prefer 2 bathrooms or do you prefer 1.5? Whereas you're digging into such the nitty gritty of the situation
And I would never want to do what you do.
Oh, I mean, I would never want to do it.
Because I would be like, take the bathroom.
Oh no, we're at that right now.
I would be I don't, get what you get and don't get upset. But you have to be so accommodating, and I think I have to be accommodating in a different way because I'm dealing with people's finances are a sensitive topic, and sometimes people don't understand. Recently I had somebody's grandmother, they gifted money, and with an FHA loan you have to show the bank statements where the money came from. And she was very hesitant because she didn't know me. She lived out of state. She thought I was an online company trying to scam her granddaughter. And I had to convince her, I'm a real person, and this is a government guideline. This is not me trying to get your bank statements.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into it. And I'm super excited now that we're in the TV studio to be able to break all of this down with you.
Right.
Because I feel like it's just changing so much so quickly. Even more than how it has in the past.
Yeah, and what we're going to talk about next after the commercial
Yes.
is we're going to give everybody an update on the lemonade stand.
Ooh, yes, lemonade stand.
It's been a while.
All right, guys, we'll see you back in a minute.
All right, we're back. Brittany, we have to give an update on the lemonade stand because we're getting ready for summer.
Yes.
It's a transition time.
We're transition. So the dumpster is being delivered today. I'm super excited. So we, as you all know, we do a lot of home renovations to our house. We bought, Mark and I buy fixer-uppers. We do a lot of things to them. And we had our last house in Hanson, and we sold it now, and we rented for a while. Now we're in Whitman, and we nicknamed the house a lemonade stand because when life gives you lemons, you just build it up. But this house has given us more stress than we ever thought.
I like to call it when an architect and a real estate agent buy a house.
Yes. And we think we know everything. So the big thing this year so far, last summer we had termites. This
Powder post beetles. Attacking the beams.
Yes. This year, the previous owner put up a fence in the middle of the night. And it's been falling apart. And so this weekend, we're going to dismantle said fence and we're going to put it in the dumpster. But the thing that we were dealing with last year is that we have this smell coming from underneath our mudroom. And I've had 2 pest companies out. I've almost gotten under there. And
didn't they say it was rats?
There's this. Well, they said it was rats, but they never caught a rat. So I don't know. I don't have any.
I'd at least want them to confirm.
Yeah, no.
Like,
so
is there rats running around or not?
They came back and they didn't catch a rat. But I went outside the other day to transplant some flower or some vegetables for the garden, and we had gophers.
Yeah, but they're so cute.
No, this thing was like this. No, it's gross. It is gross.
We have a, I'm going to side off of the lemonade stand, but the bar that I work at, there's a possum family that lives underneath the shed that's next to our dumpster out back where we have to go out every single night. So we have to put all the beer bottles in a shed. Well, yes, but they once in a while will come out and like, one night there's cameras, so like I'm downstairs cleaning and my manager's upstairs counting money and stuff.
Yeah.
And she calls down, she can call down, there's like a house phone. And I go to answer, I'm like, hey, what's up? This is also at 1:30 in the morning. She goes, did you lock the back door like through the kitchen? And I go, I'm not sure why. Cause like we go in and out of it so much, we lock it at the very end. And she goes, possum, gotta go. She slams the phone down. And there's one bar guest like finishing his drink with me. And I go, you're going in the kitchen. Like, I'm not going in there. So then we both like come to like the kitchen at the same point, and we're literally because she can see on the camera this possum like meandering up the back slope thing to get into the restaurant. We never found it. We don't know if it went in the kitchen or not, but yeah.
No. So I can't do rodents. Like,
possums are disgusting.
I can't do. So like I don't know. We have to tackle that with the house, but also
maybe the gophers live under there.
Right.
They're kind of harmless.
But like
they just dig.
Well, that's the next thing I'm talking about is that they dig and like my floors are already wonky and stuff. Like my house was built in like the 1800s.
Yeah.
So like we got things, but I was in the basement because I was trying to organize some things for the dumpster, and I found one of my Lyla columns, which is a big metal pole that holds the house up, has a big rot out of it. And I haven't really broached that subject with Mark yet.
Oh, you didn't tell him yet?
No. He came home very stressed from work last night.
We're going to have Mark back on now that we're in our set.
We will. And we've been dealing with gentle parenting.
Ew.
That's been an interesting... Like, I get it. But some days, I'm like, can you just do what I ask you to do?
Yeah, but there's so many times in my life... There are times to be gentle and there's times to be not. And there's so many times in my life, if somebody was gentle with me, it wouldn't have been the same result.
Right.
I would have done the wrong thing. Like,
right.
Sometimes you need someone to kick you in the ass. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Not literally.
No.
But sometimes you need like a harsh reality. It's not just like, oh my gosh, how do you feel? Like you can do the how do you feel about it, but you still gotta like.
So I had a thing today. I had like a real. as parents, and you get this even though you're in a little bit different stage of the whole thing, but I've been going through a lot of therapy recently and trying to change myself and do some things. And so we had a moment this morning where we just weren't agreeing on how we were going to clean some things up. And we're sitting on the couch and I'm trying to gentle parent. And you know when you get that feeling, you're like, ah, crap. Yep, I taught you that and it's really not the thing to teach. Well, so we're sitting there and she finally looks at me and she's like, okay, fine. And I could just see her shut down completely. And I was like, oh no. I was like, you can't do that because I do that all the time. Oh, I do.
Wait, no, but we're not like, it's not healthy to sometimes just shut down and get shit done.
No, it's not. It's not healthy. I mean, we
Isn't
do
that
it.
what we do?
We do it.
Isn't that how I survive every single day?
That's how I survive every day.
But block it all out.
I'm like, yeah, no, you can't do that.
Sorry
so
about
then,
that.
So then she's like, well, why can't you do that? So then I have to explain to her why. Like, I'm like, no, we can't. She's like, well, I want to do it. I'm like, oh, you can't. I mean, like once in a while.
Sometimes you have to.
Right.
Sometimes you literally have to survive through the day.
Anyway, I left and she was cleaning
Maybe
her
I
room.
need therapy.
So yeah. So that's the lemonade stand. So we'll see how the dumpster goes. I tried to set expectations of what we were going to get accomplished this weekend because there's a lot on the list and we work very differently. And we didn't get very far. So there might be some really good stories next week on...
I mean, I feel like there's always a good story when a dumpster's involved.
Yes, exactly.
I guess the last big news we have is I got a kitten.
Oh, yes.
So Brittany reminded me, because I don't know if you can see, but like my arms are all scratched. Oh no, this is a good story. So I found a kitten on Facebook from somebody I knew from my other mortgage job. And I messaged him, was like, hey, I want this kitten.
I love our story.
And he said, okay, I'm going to send you the guy's number who has the kitten, and you can coordinate picking the kitten up.
And so at like 8 o'clock at night, I get a phone call from you, and you're like, do you want to go on a ride really early tomorrow
So the
morning?
guy wanted me to pick up this kitten at 7:30, 8 a.m. in Fall River. Or New Bedford.
Like
we were in New Bedford.
On a Sunday morning.
And I'm like, this is another situation where I'm like, we're talking on the way there, and I'm like... So we're not going to go in the house because he tells me the kittens are in the basement.
Because I want to get in the basement. I want to walk in.
So our conversation is we're not getting in the basement.
We're not. Yeah, we're not.
But so we pull up.
We end up in the basement.
We pull up and it's this nice old man sipping his coffee on the front porch. And I look at you and go, you know we're going in the basement.
We're totally going in the basement. We're totally
But then it was like an outside basement. It wasn't like you had to go in his house. It was like there was a door on the side.
That had a thing that was like feral cats do not open.
So this man rescues all the like feral cats in town and then gives them away.
And if I remember correctly, it was his great grandmother's house, and she did it. Like it's been like this family,
passed down thing.
Family tradition of like, hey, there's all these feral cats, and if we're gonna save something for humanity, we're gonna save.
No, he was
these
like
cats.
literally the nicest human. And I love
human.
when we meet nice people.
And the main reason why he wanted us to come so early in the morning was because
a really sweet reason.
So he had...
There was 3, I think.
There were 3 cats left, and he did not want any of them to be left alone.
The last one.
In the basement, and he had someone coming for the pair.
Yes.
And so he wanted everyone to go at the same time.
Yes, which was super nice.
Super nice.
So we named the cat. My daughter named the cat.
Yeah.
Stuart. This is how she sent me the text. It's Stuart, last name Little.
Yes.
Cool. Love Stuart.
The cat was like this big.
It was literally like.
Yes.
We can do a picture next time. But I think it's a girl.
We know it's a girl. But Stuart is Stuart.
Stuart is staying Stuart. It's Stuart the cat. He is a menace. He is adorable. What is he, like 10 weeks now?
10 or
11
11?
weeks?
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. I'll have to look at my phone. But yeah, so I have a new kitty.
The new kitty.
Stuart Little.
Stuart Little.
Yeah. He's terrorizing my life.
So on that note, we have Lyla. We'll wrap this up. But Lyla, the bird, is now magically getting out of her cage.
She's ready to live out in the house.
She's ready to do something, but she is mad if I don't open the door now. It's a whole thing.
Is she good when you let her out?
Yeah, she came right to me today, which was really cool.
If you can like train her enough that like to get her in and out of the cage, I don't know.
She worked fine today, but I thought that
She worked fine.
I thought I was going to be
Do you think
like,
we can have Stuart and Lyla be friends?
I think we should. I think
Lyla
we should.
hates me. So I kind of pride myself on being an animal person. Always
She
have been.
only likes
like
me.
I'm the one that when I go to someone's house and I end up with the animals. She hates me.
She only likes me.
She hates me.
And it's taken 2 years for her
Alright,
to
fine.
like
I don't
me.
spend enough time with her.
So
All right, well, we're in our new location.
we're in our new location. Thank you
This
to
is our
Al
first
for putting
episode,
up
yeah.
with us and bringing us along. We're super excited.
Bridgewater Public Access. I hope
Yes.
you welcome us and you love us.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.